Halloween from the Sanderson sisters on Cover 3.
Ooh, we're gonna have a lot of hocus pocus, and I'm clearly very happy to see my sisters today.
I got nothing. I'm just here.
Lots to talk about, but first, watch us make these costumes disappear. That's all coming up next on Cover 3. Let's go. Welcome to a very spooky edition of Cover 3 on Yahoo Sports. I'm Michelle Gingras. As always, Kimberly Martin is holding it down with me in New York, and Liz Loza joins us from LA. And girls, another big Sunday in the NFL on the cusp of the trade deadline. The Patriots and the Niners remain undefeated. The Bears remain unable to find a kicker. Eesh, too soon. And the trades have already started happening, which we'll get to in a little. But first, let's run the option. We start with those Chicago Bears. Coming off of a promising 2018 with a very confident Mitch Trubisky, they've taken an unexpected nosedive to start the season at 3-4 and just seem to be in complete disarray. Similarly, in the AFC, the team people were ready to send to the Super Bowl before the season even started, the Cleveland Browns, lost again and find themselves at 2-5. So Kimberly, let's kick things off with you. Which team is more disappointing at this point in the season, the Browns or the Bears?
It's not even close, because the Bears QB was always going to be Mitch Trubisky. Except on the Browns side, you've got Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham. You don't trade for Odell to go 2-5. You don't talk to GQ and SI all offseason to go 2-5. There's too much talent on this team, and a head coach in Freddie Kitchens who you thought may have been able to hold the reins a little bit and get these guys playing the way they need to. And it's not just that they're losing, it's how they're losing. Baker last night, after that loss to the Patriots, talking about lack of accountability, lack of consistency. That's a problem.
Listen, I don't think Kimberly's wrong. It isn't even close, because she's absolutely right. When you have OBJ on every magazine and you've got Baker Mayfield in every commercial, the answer should be the Browns because of the standards and the expectations that were set. However, I am not going to say my Bears. I am an emotional person. That will surprise all of you, I'm sure.
Okay, clearly.
The answer is absolutely the Bears. Mitch Trubisky ate it. Ryan Pace deserves to give the people of Chicago, the people of Chicago deserve an apology from Ryan Pace, because we could have had Deshaun Watson. We could have had Patrick Mahomes. We traded up for a quarterback whose YPA is 5.6, for a quarterback whose pressured completion percentage is 29.3. You don't need to have these stats to know that Mitch Trubisky can't get past his first read. All you need to do is watch the tape and try not to cry.
Look what you did, Ryan Pace. You upset Liz.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. I don't know if they'll actually ever get that apology. But moving on, two teams remain undefeated on Sunday. The Patriots taking care of business against the Browns, as we just mentioned, and the 49ers with a beatdown on the Panthers, putting up 51 points. Many people thought that this game was a measuring stick for the Niners. So, Liz, which undefeated team has been more impressive for you so far?
Oh, well, let's see. One team is winning using Tom Brady. The other team is winning using his backup. This is obvious. The answer is the San Francisco 49ers, because they are achieving, and don't at me about schedules, because it ain't like the Patriots aren't facing tomato cans. Kyle Shanahan is winning on a week-to-week basis on the backs of his backs. What he is doing in the run game is absolutely astounding. Yes, the defense deserves a ton of credit, but offensively, with Jimmy Garoppolo, Kyle Shanahan's scheme is winning. Not only are the San Francisco 49ers averaging the most rushing attempts per week, but they are also averaging the most rushing yards per game. The second most, just behind Baltimore. They have the most rushing touchdowns in the NFL, the fifth most rushes over 20 yards, and the third most over 40 yards. If last year we were crowning Sean McVay, this year that crown deserves to be put on Kyle Shanahan's head.
I don't want to take anything away from the 49ers, but the Patriots are not really winning on Tom Brady's back. They're winning on the back of the defense. And if you look back at Week 16 last year, from then until now, the defense is crushing people. And the way that they've been able to embarrass teams, that's why I give it to the Patriots.
All right, apparently we're just not paying attention to the stop clock tonight. So let's move on. With those Niners sitting on top of a loaded NFC, it's starting to look like one of the perennial NFC favorites may end up on the outside looking in come playoff time. The Rams, Seahawks, and Vikings all finding themselves looking up in their division and probably fighting for a wild card spot. So Kimberly, which of these three may be at home come playoff time?
You know what? It's tough to say, but I really think it'll be the Rams. Which
is crazy.
Which is crazy to me because they made the Super Bowl last year. And when I was in LA a couple weeks ago, I talked to Les Snead, their GM, about the Super Bowl hangover. He believes it's a myth, but when you look at this team, they just don't look the same. I know they just went out and got Jalen Ramsey, gave up a lot of draft capital for him. I just don't, looking at the division and looking at how Goff doesn't look like himself, or maybe this is Goff, and looking at how the offense doesn't seem completely cohesive right now, I just think the Rams are going to be at home, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the assumption here, let me first say that it's a little ridiculous to throw darts at a playoff picture at the halfway point of the season.
True.
But yes, from what we've seen so far, the 49ers are definitely the clear favorites in the NFC West. So the question is, the Seahawks or the Rams? I'm not talking about the Vikings. You know that Mike Zimmer is thinking about his establish the run neck tattoo, so we can forget about them for a second. We're going to talk about Week 14 because that is going to be the answer to this question. The Seahawks will face the Rams in LA for the second time. We know that they lost to the Seahawks beat the Rams in Week 14. Whichever of these teams, the one with the excellent defense, that's the Rams, number 4 overall in DVOA, or the one with the Russell Wilson-led offense, that's number 4 in offensive DVOA per Football Outsiders. Week 14 will have the answer, and my money on Russell Wilson to lift these Seahawks into the wild card position.
All right, heard it here first. That's it for Run the Option. And since we're on the eve of the trade deadline, we thought we'd spend a little bit more time breaking down the possible market for some of the biggest names who may be on the trading block. And they've already seen a few teams making moves. Kenyon Drake headed to the Cardinals for a conditional late-round pick, and Leonard Williams traded to the Giants for a 3rd and a 5th. Overall, a theme of this season has been the disgruntled star versus their organization. We'll get an answer to a lot of these disputes one way or another tomorrow. So Liz, has there been a power shift in the player versus organization dynamic? And do you think that that'll continue going forward if these players have success?
I don't know if it'll continue, but I applaud the efforts. We're seeing Jalen Ramsey force a trade. We saw Antonio Brown work some sort of, I don't want to call it magic, but work something, right? I think these NFL players are taking a cue from what players in the NBA are doing and trying to force trades. Now, it remains to be seen because Jalen Ramsey did get away from it. Front offices have to ask themselves the question, are they willing to have a player on the team who doesn't want to be there? And what does that mean for their locker room? Last year, Patrick Peterson wanted to leave the Arizona Cardinals. That was a different regime. Maybe he feels differently now. He just returned to action last week. There's a whole new quarterback, head coach system in place. Good, you want to leave. You've got Trent Williams, who definitely doesn't want to be there.
Forever.
Melvin Gordon does. Yes. So, Kimberly, I know that Washington has been on your beat. What are you hearing?
Well, so now all of a sudden, the Redskins seem poised to want to move Trent Williams, which is something they should have wanted to do earlier in the season. I think this is just Bruce Allen, their team president, trying to play coy a little bit. You know, wait to the last possible second and demand a king's ransom. They want a 1st-round pick. Okay, they need to move Trent this season. You can't wait till the offseason because right now teams need offensive linemen. The Patriots, the Chiefs, there are a lot, Browns, hello. There are a lot of teams that need offensive line help, and the Redskins could really, really help themselves by getting something in return.
What about a player like
there
AJ
seems to be
Green?
so much pride at place, right? There seems to be so much pride in place, and I think if you're going to talk about AJ Green, it's a perfect place to do that.
Yeah. You go ahead, Liz. What do you think about AJ Green? He's, the Bengals are 0-7 right now. He's been out all season with an ankle injury. But is there any situation where the Bengals don't deal their star wideout before the trade deadline tomorrow?
Well, quarterback Dre Kirkpatrick said last week it would absolutely demolish the team's spirit. Now, I don't know how an 0-7 record isn't already
or something
doing
crazy
that.
Yeah.
0-8 record, a winless team isn't already doing that. But AJ Green is a player who was drafted by the Bengals, who has given himself, his body, his spirit since 2011 with Andy Dalton to this team, and he was hurt on the practice field because it wasn't well maintained. His teammate Tyler Boyd said that. I don't think AJ Green owes anything to the city of Cincinnati. If anything, why haven't they helped him get past where they're at, maybe with a better quarterback? And I know they're trying to do that with Zach Taylor as opposed to Marvin Lewis, but it's a little too late.
Yeah, the Bengals really, I don't understand why you would even keep AJ Green. He's a guy, if I'm the Bills, if I'm the Eagles, I'm calling the Bengals. I want AJ Green on my team. And now, the Bengals may say they're not going to trade him. The Broncos didn't want to trade Emmanuel Sanders until they did. The minute they lost to the Chiefs, they're like, okay, season has a different outlook now. Now we're going to move on. Okay, obviously you see Emmanuel Sanders go to the 49ers. Same thing could happen with AJ Green. I would hate to see him wasted in Cincinnati. Not to be a Debbie Downer, but the Bengals aren't going anywhere.
Quickly, guys, you mentioned Patrick Peterson a little bit. Hold on, 1 second, Liz, just quickly. You guys mentioned Patrick Peterson earlier. That's another name that's been circulating. The Cardinals in the beginning stage of what we would think was a rebuild, but they're saying that they're not interested in dealing Peterson. Kimberly, just starting with you, what do you think they're thinking here?
Well, you can make a case for keeping him and dumping him, because when you look at it, he's 29 years old. Cornerbacks, they fall off a cliff very quickly. So at 29, he could be on the downtrend, right? But he hasn't had any health issues. The Cardinals are a 500 team. They're not winning their division now. Could they win it next year? If you're the Cardinals, you may sit back and think, well, in today's NFL, any team can be good in a matter of a season, right? So we've got the head coach in place, we've got the QB of the future, you have a shutdown corner in Patrick Peterson, so why let that go? I don't know, I'd be listening
But also maybe let him buy in, like sit down with Patrick Peterson and take his temperature on the situation. He was suspended for the first 6 weeks of the season, and we just saw the only 2 undefeated teams in the league last week trade for veteran players who were reliable because they need a veteran presence on the team. I think that Arizona needs to talk to Patrick Peterson and say, hey, do you want to be that guy? Do you want to be the captain of this defense? Because we need one and we want you to be it. And if he's not interested, then you got to let him fly. But you have an opportunity to make him special in that organization.
All right, well, the next 20 hours are going to be very interesting. Deadline, to remind everyone, is tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. One team we mentioned that should be buyers are the 5-2 Buffalo Bills. They struggled this week against the Eagles. Another up-and-down performance from their young quarterback, Josh Allen. Here's what he had to say following the loss.
You know, I think it kind of turns out back to, they were making some good plays on defense, but we weren't helping ourselves out. You know, whether it was penalties, pre-snap, during the whistle, or during the play, ultimately, that rests on my shoulders. So I gotta find a way to, allow ourselves to get better with moving the ball and putting some more points on the board. And performance like this won't cut it. And we didn't play to our standard. Obviously, we played a pretty good team today, and we know that. They know that. But at the same time, we still gotta play up to how we know we can play.
So, Kimberly, I bring up Mr. Allen because you had a chance to sit down with him earlier this week. What were your impressions of the QB and his life in Buffalo?
Yeah, everything that Josh Allen said there was everything that he and I talked about. This is a young team still looking for an identity, and they still haven't put it all together. Take a look. So we recently saw you chuck a ball all the way to the nosebleed seats. Mm-hmm. In perfect conditions, how far can you throw a football?
So in Wyoming, which is basically as perfect as you can get for the altitude, I got it to around 83 yards. So yeah, I was out there with some of the equipment staff, and we were just messing around one day, and they got it on video. I got to find the video, but it was around 83.
You don't have that video? Just
I don't. No, it's not like a huge milestone for me, but it was a good time.
That ball you threw, it almost looked like it was going to go out the stadium.
That's what I was going for.
You're trying to throw
Yeah.
it? Okay.
But in my mind, I'd thrown it probably 5 to 10 yards closer to the stands. But I was so hyped up that it came out early, so it happens.
So almost half the season is over. But when everything comes together, how good can this offense be?
I think the best thing right now is we've played some good football games, but we haven't put everything together yet. And I think that when we can take care of the football, when we can run our routes on the outside and make some plays there, and when we get our running game going, when we get all those things going, I think we can be really good. But at the same time, we're not really trying to be the best offense in the league. We're trying to be the best team in the league. And I think we've got a lot of guys with the same mindset. And I think when you got a lot of guys with the same mindset working for the same goal, you're going to usually have success.
I was gonna say that's sometimes a little surprising when wide receivers and QBs aren't so focused on we need to be this elite scoring offense. You've, I guess, collectively feel like,
We're just trying to do our job, you know.
and your job is
Take care of the football,
okay.
move the chains on third down, and then when we get to the red zone, make sure we end with touchdowns.
Okay, I like it. So, first off, we got to talk about your running style. Okay? Because when I watch you run, I'm like, okay, Josh. And then there's that moment of like, okay, get down, Josh. Get down, Josh. So, how do you balance that desire to get every extra yard you can, but also, it doesn't appear like you're thinking about your physical safety out there.
I've made a concerted effort
Have you?
this year.
Okay.
I think compared to last year.
Compared to last year, all right.
Yeah, I've been getting down when I need to, but that competitor in me still wants to go get that extra yard and make a guy miss and get the first down. When it's first and second down, though, I feel like I've done a good job of getting down, trying to avoid some hits. Then on third down, on fourth down, especially near the goal line, sticking the ball out and opening myself to bigger hits. You know, that's just how I play. That's how I lead. That's how I show my guys how bad I want to win football games.
Do concussions scare you?
No, not at all. Obviously, I think that there's been a lot of problems in the past, but like for myself, like I know what I got into by playing this game of football. I understand that the risks involved, and I think that whatever job you choose, there's going to be risks involved. And I love this game. I love the way it's played. I love the thrill of scoring touchdowns and winning football games, and I think that outweighs everything else that I think about. And I really don't go out there thinking about any of the injury stuff, and that's just kind of how I play the game. I mean, I can't say enough how much I love football. It's like the greatest thing that I've been in contact with, and that's why I've wanted to play it for so long.
So, some people that love these runs of yours are the fans. Were you surprised by the intensity of Bills Mafia when you got here?
I was, yeah. I'd seen videos and stuff, throughout high school and college of Bills Mafia, and I won't say what they were doing, but
No, talk.
it rhymes with rumping through Rabels.
Okay.
Not endorsing it.
No, we're not.
Of course, like we see these videos and I'm like, dang, like, our fans are crazy. But it's like, don't go out there and hurt yourself before the game, and we want you guys in the stands to cheer us on. So I don't know if I'm allowed to say all this stuff, but the passion that they have and the way that this community is built, I think it relies very heavily on the way Bills football goes. And I think as a team, as an organization, really it's passed down from top down, from the Pagulas to the front staff to Coach McDermott to all our coaches, that this community lives and breathes Buffalo Bills football. And to be in a place where football is like the greatest thing people think of, like to be a part of this team, it's just something special that not a lot of places have. We want to win football games, not just for us, but for this community as well.
So the Patriots flying top the division as always. How close are you guys to legitimately challenging them for the top spot in the division?
I mean, we still got a lot of stuff to improve on, and I think that when we played them here,
You played them close.
played them close, yeah. And again, there are a lot of mistakes on my part. Things that won't happen again. That I'm going to try to do to my best of my abilities to get in there and protect the football. It was one of those games where it was very close. The fans were in it, and we couldn't make the play when we needed to.
So we agree the Patriots defense is great, but your defense, pretty good too. How much credit does that unit deserve for the early success that this team has had?
They deserve a ton. And with the guys that they got over there, young guy like Tremaine, an old guy like Lorenzo. And then you got the safeties, Micah and Poe, and then you got on the outside Vi. I can go through every single one of them, but they do their job. They're not trying to do anything special. They're fundamentally gap sound. They're guys that fly around to the football, guys that truly care about each other. It's fun to watch them because you never know if you need to grab your helmet, run on the field, because if they just got an interception or a fumble or a strip sack or anything like that. So they've been playing lights out, and we appreciate what they do for this team.
Are you surprised nationally more people aren't talking about this Bills defense?
Surprised, no.
Why is that? Why do you say no so quickly?
We're in Buffalo. Like, we understand, like, this isn't the place that has all the shiny lights and big buildings and fancy clubs and fancy cars everywhere. We're just a group of guys that maybe teams didn't want, that came to Buffalo and wanted to put their heads down and work hard. And that's just kind of how this community is as well. You know, it's a hard-working community. It doesn't get a lot of praise, that in the media has a bad rap. And I think the players are the same way here. Like, we're just gritty. We don't care about all that, the media distraction, all that noise. So surprised, no. Are we frustrated? Not really, but I think we don't want to make them hear us, we want to make them feel us. And I think that's what we're trying to prove.
Thanks, Josh.
I appreciate it.
So after a loss like this Sunday, did you find that this kid can handle everything that comes with the Bills' uniquely passionate fan base?
You know, this fan base, it's looking for the next Jim Kelly, really. And that's a high ceiling for him, and he's got to meet it. And so far, he hasn't at all. Their defense was the reason that they were 5-1 heading into that game against the Eagles. And for once, the defense needed to be bailed out, and the offense just couldn't do it. And that's been the issue for the Bills this season, their offense. And he knows he has to be better. It's just a matter of figuring everything out.
I feel like the offense wasn't able to do it because you have an inaccurate passer who admitted he was inaccurate. I mean, he has this crazy strong arm, and then he was like, yeah, I got a little excited, too hyped up. I probably should have put it here. How many times have we been like, yeah, you probably should have put it in the receiver's catch radius? But you didn't, because that's what you're struggling with. But you're an explosive athlete and an incredible rusher. But they were facing, in Philadelphia, an incredible run defense, so they couldn't just rely on the running game. And also, there were, 40-mile-an-hour winds going on, so you're asking an inaccurate passer to put the game on his shoulders in crazy winds. It ain't gonna happen. And if he's gonna take care of the football, he probably shouldn't fumble 3 times.
All right, well, regardless, it was a great interview with Josh Allen. You got some great stuff there, so well done on that account. Let's transition to Monday Night Football. The winless Miami Dolphins head to Pittsburgh tonight to take on the Steelers. Kickoff is slated for 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch that game right here on the Yahoo Sports app following our show. Ryan Fitzpatrick at the helm for the Dolphins. Liz, do you think this could be a statement game for the Steelers defense?
I think it needs to be. I mean, they are coming off of a bye, and this game, the Steelers have been given not too many gifts so far this season, but this one is a gift because they have another opportunity to see what they have in Mason Rudolph. He was obviously concussed a couple of weeks ago, then he had the bye. Now he and Juju Smith have got to work on their rapport because, like it or not, Juju Smith is this team's #1 receiver, and they need to get Juju more involved, and they need to see if Mason Rudolph is the quarterback of the future.
You know, I'll be honest, this Monday night game does not tickle my fancy. I really don't. I am not at all. I'm not at all
and Dolphins
excited
matchup?
for this. I get it. You know, the Steelers should win this. But for me, Fitzpatrick always makes things fun. Don't make no mistake, the Dolphins are not trying to win at all the rest of the way. They just want to be competitive, despite what the team is going to say. They just want to be competitive, and at least Fitzpatrick can make things interesting. That roller coaster, it'll go up before it crashes down, so that's what I'm looking for.
I agree with that. Watching him in Tampa last year was a lot of fun before Jameis Winston came back. He brings a lot of fun energy to the team, a lot of excitement to watch.
Nothing to
lose.
YOLO.
Exactly. All right, so coming up, we're picking teams, but first, let's play run pass option with Tyler Cameron, not Tyler C.
Hey, Liz Loza here with Tyler Cameron. So Tyler, I have a very important question for you.
Bring it on.
Since your time on The Bachelorette, how are your options?
They've increased a little bit.
Oh, I love it. Okay, but we're gonna leave the options to running and passing for today.
Yeah, let's just talk about run pass options right now.
Nice.
All right.
Let's play RPO.
We're in the spread offense. We got an athletic quarterback here.
Sure.
Let's say Lamar Jackson. We got Mark Ingram here at running back, and we got our guy Willie Snead right here. We're gonna run a slant here, all right? Right here in the backfield, though, and the linemen, they're all blocking for a run. So we got, a run to the left here. Linemen are engaging now.
I want to make sure they're engaging.
Killing it. All right, linebackers.
One of us is
linebackers
engaging,
are crashing.
Tyler.
And now we're reading this guy right here.
Sure.
Okay. So the quarterback and the running back are in exchange right now. And if that linebacker crashes, right, we're gonna keep the ball with the quarterback and we're gonna throw a slant route behind him.
Willie.
To Willie, old Willie, up the sidelines. Now, if the linebacker comes back and the linebacker is sitting, right, on this route, we're gonna give the ball off to Mark Ingram and let him run it and use these numbers. And that's essentially how the run pass option works.
So you run or you pass, and it's the quarterback's option.
Exactly.
Nice. Well, thanks for teaching us all about RPOs. I'm gonna talk about your options more after off camera.
All right.
Hey, can't wait for my next play date for real now.
Liz, finding out the options, eh?
A girl can never have too many options.
Yeah, we know. All right, very good. Let's pick some teams. Every weekend, the internet gives us some great content to debate about. And you know this by now. This weekend was no different, so it's time for us to pick teams. First up, Odell Beckham didn't have a memorable day in Foxborough, but following a 27-13 loss, he thought he'd give Tom Brady a memento anyways. After the game, the Browns wideout gifted the Patriots quarterback with custom goat hair sneakers. So Liz, are you team respect or team respect yourself?
These were custom goat hair shoes that he had worn and had OBJ's initials on them. I don't know what Tom Brady is going to do with somebody else's used shoes that don't have TB or 12 on them. So respect, no respect, I don't care. The answer is maybe I don't ever want to be on OBJ's holiday gift list at all. Respect, I guess.
You know what? Respect yourself. Normally, I don't have an issue with these kind of things, but the Browns are in disarray. Looking at Baker's face, not saying that he was really jealous, but just the look on his face, it's sort of like, yo, you're my receiver. You should be, like, Odell should be thinking about catching passes and figuring out how to get this team on the same page. There'll be time to bestow gifts on Tom Brady. He's the greatest ever, but not right now. I wasn't feeling it.
Right, because you have done this like not on camera, not in front of everyone, not after you just lost. I'm team respect yourself. That is not okay. Next up, following the Jets' blowout loss to the Patriots on Monday night in Week 7, in which Jets quarterback Sam Darnold was caught on mic saying that he was seeing ghosts, the Jaguars' mascot, Jackson DeVille, was in the holiday spirit as he was sporting a full-on ghost costume. So, Kimberly, are you team Halloween or team trolling?
1000% team trolling, and it was amazing. That mascot in the sheet, that's the best thing ever. And really, the fact that they made Sam Darnold see ghosts during the game, it's perfect.
Oh, Kimberly's right. This is a 100% troll job. But my main issue was with whoever decided it would be okay for Sam Darnold to be mic'd up when he faced the New England Patriots. That guy needs to be trolled even harder than Darnold was last night.
All right, let's round it out. That was definitely team trolling, but an excellent job by Jacksonville. So finally, a non-football one. Game 5 of the World Series, Yordan Alvarez smacks a 2-run home run. And check out the fan in the stands holding a Bud Light in each hand. He refuses to let go of his beer.
Whoa, what?
Takes the ball right in the chest. He would end up getting the ball in the end. So, Liz, are you team beer or team ball?
I mean, I don't know how much those tickets were. I don't imagine very cheap, but if I'm spending like $6 on a damn Bud Light, I ain't dropping them either.
Oh.
Team beer.
Yeah, me too. Everything at ballparks now, way too expensive. Hold the beer, and he got the ball in the end, so he's 2 for 2.
That's right, team
Win-win.
beer. That was very well done. And also no injuries somehow, so Annie gets the ball. That's great. We'll take that. So that's a wrap for Cover 3. For Kimberly and Liz, thanks for watching. Be sure to keep it locked on the Yahoo app for Dolphins and Steelers coming up next, and we'll see you right here next week on Cover 3.
I mean, come on. I just look at it like we're now a 2-6 football team, and we're like afraid to go for it in a 2-minute drill. You know, like who cares if you give the ball back to the guys with 1 minute and 40 seconds left? They obviously got the field goal anyway.
Well, I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, you know, you see Michael Jordan, you see, you know, some of the great athletic plays in any sport. You got to tip your hat to the guy. I mean, we had him 3 times, and then he makes an unbelievable throw, and the kid makes a great catch.
I'll just be brutally clear. 0 thought of throwing the football, 0 thought of running the football. You understand me? That's exactly what it was. So it's as simple as that.
You know, it's a great privilege to coach this team and to coach the guys that I've coached throughout my career. Fortunately, I didn't play in any of those games. That's a good thing for us.